Welcome to Easy Rightsizing this morning on KFOR FM 103.3 1240 AM. I'm Dale Johnson and I'm joined by Janine Bryant of Changing Spaces SRS. We're here every Sunday morning. We want you to know that you can do this, right size for any reason at all. Good morning, Janine.
Good morning, Dale.
One reason that Changing Spaces SRS continues to grow is because of the well-respected right-sizing service provided by Janine's team. Last weekend, we met Michelle Eastman, the very first staff member, team member, and we talked about the moving process when someone hires Changing Spaces SRS. So this morning, Janine, let's focus in on Michelle's experience at estate sales and now the online auctions.
Yeah, that's the second half of our service, right? So the first half is we get them moved, we get them sorted, packed, moved, unpacked, settled in the new place. And then we turn our attention to the old house and all that stuff that's left at the old house. And historically, we have done that by holding an estate sale, an in-person estate sale. It's a tag sale. Everything has a price tag on it. And those have been very successful. We do about 55 of those estate sales every single year, 1 or 2 each weekend. We try to take some holiday weekends off when we can. And then, of course, when COVID-19 hit, boy, that was a little bit of a problem. A little bit of a curveball for our in-person estate sale business. So then we started doing online auctions in March. And Michelle, you have done hundreds of them over the years, haven't you?
I have.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
It is crazy to think about it. I love it though.
Yeah.
It energizes me. I love the people. I love the action. I love it all. Mm-hmm. I do.
And you know, that is what I say. She just set me up for this. That's what I say the Changing Spaces difference is that we are in it for the people. Now, Michelle loves her stuff too. I have to say, I'm a minimalist. Michelle is not a minimalist.
I'm not.
But we're not antique dealers. We're not in it because we love the stuff. We're in it because we love the people and we understand the critical situation that they're in and they need to get through this transition. They're overwhelmed, right? We've moved them, or maybe sometimes it's someone who has passed away and the family contacts us and there is 30, 40, 50 years worth of stuff in this house. And when you sell a house, it has to be empty.
And
right?
when you start out these estate sales, the family will come in and say, you know, well, what do you think you're going to get out of this? And what do you think you're going to get out of this? Mm-hmm. And I 90% of the time tell them, you know, you're not going to want to look at this one item or this one item or this one item. You're going to look at that bottom line and say, oh my gosh, I got that much stuff out of what was left or my mom's house. Or and at the first of the week, you know, they're thinking, what about, you know, gosh, I got to get money out of it. I get money out of it. But at the end of their week, they're thinking, what am I going to do with this stuff if it doesn't sell?
Right.
You know, so, I mean, that's what our job is to get rid of that stuff in 2 days.
And to help our clients lead them through that process, because it is a mental process,
it absolutely
right?
is.
I mean, I always tell our clients, before we come in to liquidate whatever's in the house, remove anything that you want to keep. Right? And I repeat that and I repeat that and I repeat that. And I try to get them to the point where they can say, I have taken out everything I want to keep. And so then you can kind of be at peace with whatever happens with whatever's left. It's all stuff that I didn't want to keep. Right?
I can sell it.
So we're gonna try our best to sell as much of it as possible. And how much would you say, you know, we sell at a typical estate sale? What percentage of the items do you think?
I'd say we're 85%.
Yep, we can sell 85%. Yep.
Yeah.
And we get typically during non-COVID times between 1,500 and 1,800 people through that door. So Michelle, do you want to talk us through, you know, when the team comes in on a Monday to start the process, you're actually going to be in the middle of that here next week, setting up an estate sale. How does that process work?
Well, there again, the team meets there Monday at 9 o'clock. We all walk the house pretty much together. And since COVID's hit, we pretty much take a room, separate into a room. I think the most important thing is to get out the trash. Figure out what's
trash. There's not trash in my house. They might say
sellable and what's not sellable. You know, if they have sheets that have stains on them, those go. Those go. If the towels are all ratty, those go. If there's chipped dishes or chipped plates and that kind of stuff, we don't sell that stuff. So let's get rid of the trash. Then we can figure out what we're doing. And we just go in and bring in tables or set up on the appliances or the furniture that we have, display it so you can see it, so you can, see what we've got, and we price it. And
we really go through and we empty out all the drawers and all the cupboards and all the closets. So the client doesn't need to do that. Again, we try to just get them to pluck out what they want to keep, and then they can walk away. Our team will do the rest of it.
Because what happens a lot of times they will throw away stuff that could be sold.
So we don't
if
want
they
them to
would
do
just
that.
let us, we just feel like if they would let us go through it, then we feel like we know better how.
Jeannie, you said you're not an antique dealer, but you know antique dealers.
I
in case
know
someone
about
has antique.
7,000 of them who get our emails every week. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
right.
And that's the beauty of our service, is that we are a full service estate sale company where we will come in and we do all of that work to set it up. We also have the marketing power behind us to reach thousands of people that an individual having a garage sale is never going to reach.
Never.
Right? We have professional marketing services. We take photos. We put together professional marketing materials for each and every sale. And that's how we get hundreds of people through the house every weekend. And then, on our online auctions that we have started doing this year, we actually already have 4,000 registered bidders on our online auctions, and we only started those this March.
That's March. That is great.
And, we've been quite pleased and surprised at some of those prices we've been getting on those auctions, haven't we?
Yes. It's very interesting. Quite a change from our in-person sales.
Now, talk about that process. How is that process a little different, doing the online auctions?
Well, there's just usually 3 of us on that team that walk through the house, and we start spotting things. Okay, is it, and because we kind of set ourselves a limit where we want that bid to start at. So we kind of go through and say, okay, this piece of furniture can be shot and this piece of furniture can be shot, but we don't need to do these 5 pots and pans or, the kitchen stuff. So, it's been an eye-opener, and just watching some of these prices, we're like, because with online sales, we start at the bottom and go up.
Yep.
With in-person sales, we start at the top and go down.
That's right.
So it's interesting to see what these people are buying out there and how they're paying for it.
Yep. But, typically across the board, we are selling 85% of that stuff out of that house. And what a blessing that is to our client. We get them quite a bit of money. We get their house emptied, and then they can bring in some junk haulers to haul off the rest to a donation and to trash. And then their home is empty, and then they can close their real estate transaction.
And that's where the real money is.
That's right.
Real estate.
That's right. Yep. That's what we try to remind folks. Boy, we're going to try to squeeze as much as we can out of all of your stuff, because our commission's 35%. We get 35% of whatever they get. But the real asset here is the house itself. And so sometimes, Michelle spoke earlier about people getting really attached to, well, how much are you going to get for this individual piece? And what are you going to get for this? We try to help them take a step back and take a big picture view of this whole situation, right? I mean, you're going through a big transition. There's going to be a lot of money changing hands. And when you think about selling this house that's been in the family for 40 years, that price is going to pale in comparison to the $75 vase you're worried about.
Exactly.
You know what I found in the few times that I've moved is there comes a point when you start emptying out the house where you become disconnected with the house. And what you realize then is it's not the house that you're attracted to, it's the stuff in the house.
Yes.
Because once a couple of rooms get empty,
Right.
you realize that this is just
Right, just
material.
Right.
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 And everything else that makes this box,
Yeah.
a house, is in boxes moving to my new place.
But Dale, I'm going to challenge you and say even more so, it's the people in the house, right? And the reason I can say that is because we have worked with plenty of adult daughters and adult sons who are cleaning out their parents' home, and they have put it off for years and years because they can't face it. And I have to say to them, I understand what you really want. What you really want is your parents to be here in this house, alive, thriving. You want this to feel like home. It's not going to feel like home anymore, right? That's the circle of life. Your
Right.
parents die, and you have to kind of move on from that. And then what I always try to tell people is focus on the here and now. Make sure you're investing in your relationships that are still here and the people who are still alive.
And the freedom it gives you once you get rid of that. I mean, I got a gal going through it right now, and she's like, well, what do you think, I should hang on to this? And I'm like, the freedom it gives you at the point that you're done with it. I mean, think what you can do with your time then, you know? So, and she agreed with me, you know, I think you're right. I think, you know, I need to go ahead and move on, let go, and get this process moved on, you know, done.
Right. Right. The memory's not in the stuff, right? The memory's in the person. So, and sometimes our clients just need us to talk them through that process.
And once they realize that, you know what, I can get rid of this or give it away or let family members have it, then they have more space for the things that they have no doubt about.
Yes,
they love.
absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely.
When in doubt, throw it out. I always say, you know, only keep it if it's a heck yes. You know, if it's a, well, maybe I should keep that. No, don't keep it. Keep only the stuff that's like, well, yes, I have to have that. Okay,
that's
then
what I
keep
say.
it.
Love it. If you love it, keep it. If you get rid of it.
Do you teach this at Southeast Community College?
I do.
You do
I'm
that?
going to for the first time this year. Yes, Monday nights. The last 2 Monday nights in September and the first Monday night in October. You can call SCC to register. It's $75. We're using my book, Ready to Right Size, as the textbook, and it's through continuing education. And I'm going to be the professor, so we'll see how that goes.
Wow. How can somebody get your book outside of the classroom? How can someone get it?
Sure, it's available on Amazon. You just search for Ready to Right Size, and it's right there. It's $12.95, and it's worth every penny.
We record all these conversations, and they are available to you anytime at EasyRightsizing.com. You can also check out the new online auctions that we've been talking about today at ChangingSpacesSRS.com auctions. So there's a couple of more resources that
Absolutely.
you can turn to.
Yep.
Michelle, it's been a pleasure.
Hey, thank you.
Very much for your expertise.
Thank you.
And Janine, for introducing us to one of your team members.
That's
the first
right.
member of your team.
First member of our
Yes.
team. I might have her back. She's so good at this.
She's always welcome. And we're here every Sunday morning for Easy Right Sizing.